Welcome to Popcorned Planet. I am Andy Signore, and today's the day the trial for Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard officially begins, and today we heard the opening arguments. We're going to break down the full day's events tonight live at 5 p.m. We're clipping things, we're gathering everything, we're fact-checking things, so make sure you join us later today after the trial where we break down every day of this trial, and it's getting juicy, guys. It's getting really intense, and honestly, today's day was amazing. First of all, I'm just blown away by the coverage. We're getting to see it across the board in multiple angles, cutaways, everything. There's plenty of YouTube feeds that have been posting it, a lot of them with commentary, some of them without commentary. There's plenty of opportunities for you guys to watch, and honestly, I preferred watching it without commentary the first time because it allowed me to really process and gather my thoughts. And I got so many thoughts, I didn't even want to wait till 5 p.m. I wanted to recap in a way what happened today in these opening arguments. And this is my opinion on things, both sides and their opening arguments. What happened first was Ben Chu, Johnny's lawyer who's here, came out just firing. He came out very concise, very to the point, and really gave a strong opening as to why Johnny should be believed here. He really laid out the full story. In fact, I want to. I don't want to stream all this. We got so many notes on this. I got an amazing research team as we're organizing for you guys. Bravo. Thank you to everybody working behind the scenes. Kim, Linda today. I know we're doing a lot behind the scenes to enter in all our data along with me as we're keeping our notes. But I'm just going through these notes to sort of help you initially. We'll play clips later today. Honestly, you should watch the whole thing. I'm definitely going to load up Johnny's whole opening argument because I think it's important for you to see. But as I go through sort of my notes here and what happened, first I was just remarking on the coverage, which was great. But he really, was focused on the getting to the focus of the fact that Amber didn't even have to use Johnny's name in the op-ed. She talks about surviving 2 years ago, May 27, 2016. She was with Johnny. Who else would you be speaking about? In both sides, this case is ultimately about the defamation of you defamed him by speaking about him in this op-ed portion. Amber Heard's team later came out, so we didn't even mention him by name. But it's just very interesting how they want to use make it very clear about Johnny, but the op-ed's not about Johnny. There's so many contradictions by Amber's team later on that I'll get to, but I thought Johnny's team did a very clear job at just explaining how it's clearly written about Johnny. They also went in to talk about the evidence about how Johnny Depp's, the day Amber decided to break up, to file this restraining order was the day he decided to break up with her. Day after his mother passed, which he had been taken care of, opened up and acknowledged the fact that Johnny Depp's mother had done the same thing that Amber's done to Johnny's own father, and how that his own life, he's been sort of learned how to cope with this mechanism. It was unreal what they broke down in the backstory of it, as well as during the injury itself, how there's surveillance footage of Amber recreating it with her sister, laughing about it, like almost doing fake things to sort of get their stories straight, which they remark in the fact that who would do this? None of this was available and nothing happened when she went and did the restraining order, which got a lot of press. The clear implication, she was the victim of DV by Mr. Depp, but the evidence will show that that was a lie. When it was repeated and republished 2 years later during the Me Too movement, that's when things took an even further turn. He was very concise in just teasing the things that were coming. How he's never been physical with women ever. There's no examples of that. In fact, the second lawyer came forward and really spoke more in depth about that, about his mother, about the history Johnny Depp went through, as well as his previous long-term relationships, both Winona Ryder and Vanessa Paradis, both defend him to this day and say this is not the man we've ever heard of. So this monster that Amber keeps referring to and came up in the long response on her side, no one's ever seen it but Amber. They also talk about how she pursued him. Amber pursued him, how she wooed him and went to great lengths to play the doting girlfriend. Those who saw the relationship saw this, and they're going to bring those witnesses in to explain Amber's motivations. But this was the most telling thing. I am going to play a clip because I want this to get, and I even tweeted this. In fact, follow me on Twitter. I'll be posting my reactions as I'm watching when I can't resist. And this was a clip that came about that I just thought was very telling.
You will hear from Mr. Depp's security people, like Sean Bett, about how they often had to remove Mr. Depp from scenes with Miss Heard, screaming at him, chasing him, trying to keep him from leaving. You're going to hear evidence that when Mr. Depp and Miss Heard traveled together, his team routinely had to book an extra room for him so that he had somewhere to go when Miss Heard became enraged. You'll hear from other witnesses, including Mr. Depp and Miss Heard's marriage counselor. Her name is Dr. Laurel Anderson.
Whoa. Their marriage counselor? I don't remember hearing this one before. Team Depp, help me out, but... So the marriage counselor for Depp and Amber Heard is now on record saying what?
Perceived Miss Heard as the aggressor in the relationship. Miss Heard as the aggressor in the relationship. The one who would strike Mr. Depp to try to keep him from leaving.
This is the marriage counselor. What? I mean, they're not supposed to pick sides, but my gosh, the marriage counselor's now gone on record to say she's the aggressor. Look at that face. There's so many smug responses as she's just trying the performance of her life right now. That was damning. And they dropped that during. Amber brought none of that in her response. She brought nothing in her response. I mean, she brought stuff, but literally the first thing they mention in the response from Amber, and I wish I had the clip here. I'm going to see if I can get it really quick. Literally, after Depp's dropping receipts, talking about how we have everything here to prove, we have evidence, we have surveillance footage, we have witnesses, we have the fact that makeup doesn't work, the fact that she's lied, etc. The lawyer in Amber Heard's side comes back out.
You're going to hear who he really is from other witnesses.
And just paints this.
And you're going to hear who he really is.
You're going to hear the real Johnny.
In the vile, graphic, terrible messages that he wrote about Amber and ways he used to describe Amber and what he wanted to do to Amber.
Now, we know those text messages. I don't like those text messages, but it doesn't at all prove anything. Wrote those messages well into this. She was caught lying and trying to destroy his life. He was angry. But the thing he speaks about, he wants the jury to remember is, the quote in itself is, this is about the First Amendment. That's what this is about. Nothing else. After Johnny gives this whole big thing, which paints a pretty aggressive picture against Amber Heard, Amber's team comes back out and literally goes, this is about the First Amendment. She has a right. This was a public topic because, again, this is the anti-SLAPP law thing she won. She's just holding on so tight to that very clear legal definition and loop thing that's going to that's the only thing that can really save her in this of, well, she's allowed to. The SLAPP laws say this is public information and she's allowed to make this argument. But hearing Johnny Depp's pleas and everything he put out there, for her first response and the lawyer to really tell the jury, remember, this is about the First Amendment rights. She's allowed to say what she needs to say because this is a public event, Me Too, etc. It was so frustrating to see, and we'll pull these clips and we'll have more of it to watch later, so join us at 5, but I wanted to react sort of first because it was so frustrating to watch the back and forth. Now, I know some are going to say, but Andy, you've chosen Johnny. No, I was listening to Amber's side. I was really trying to listen to Amber's side to say, okay, well, what am I missing? Is there something I'm missing? Am I biased? What's happening? And Amber just painted, Amber's attorney literally said, Johnny Depp is going to distract you with all these blah, 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 blah. All Amber Heard's team did was distract. Paint up a narrative of he's a monster. Paint up this narrative, oh, he's, Amber Heard's less famous. All this painting that they did without any evidence and not really even alluding to evidence. Instead, they chose to read the full op-ed piece. Like, what? Guys, she didn't even write the op-ed piece. She wrote it with the ACLU who did it for her and she approved it. So it's her name. So technically she wrote it. But for her to read it as if she's still the hero here, it's just insane. It's insane when you know the facts. And so look, we're going to be live 5 p.m. I implore Johnny Depp heads, please. I have a thread on my Twitter. I've already put it out there. We're pulling ours as many as we can. We got to move fast. I know we got to react to so much each day. I want to fact check this. I want to keep her honest. What Amber said, I don't understand where any of it's coming from. And the problem with what Amber's opening was, in my opinion, and we'll talk more in depth tonight with experts who were there in the room, I'm hoping. The problem, especially when the second attorney, Elaine, stepped up.
What happened was she got recognized by a Hollywood agent who...
So anyway, for me, she just completely missed it. She went and just word saladed the whole thing. Just distraction. Let me throw a bunch of witness names, things, blah, 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 blah. That none of it made any damn sense. Talking to a jury that's trying to actually learn this case, it's very clear to me right out the gate and seeing how the tactics were, Johnny's team is very prepared, teasing a story and a narrative that they're prepared to unravel. Amber Heard's team's just throwing everything in the kitchen sink out as what they can to just distract and confuse The jury. And then what was amazing, there was a clip where Elaine's like, Amber, which Johnny mentioned in his opening, Johnny's team's going to say that these photos aren't real, that they weren't checked. That's a lie. I can tell you straight out that these are legit photos. These are, because they were in the cloud from multiple phones. They say she has an editing app. Well, all iPhones have an editing app. These are legit photos, and we've sent them to his team and blah, blah, blah. Guys, you got to remember, these lawyers can lie. Now, that goes both ways. These lawyers can lie. But when the lawyer's response is, no, these are real. No, I promise. We found an expert to say they're real. When the reality is they never fulfilled what the judge ordered. They didn't fulfill what the judge ordered. There was very clear rules. Send them here to this expert. We will pay for whatever experts you want. There's a process here. Give us time. They did this back in like October, November of last year. They never did it. And so now, as they said in the opening argument, they're able to now fight for the fact that, well, these photos are not real. We couldn't check them, and we have so many witnesses say they weren't, that they were never there in the first place. The things she says on her face, that how are we supposed to believe any of this is real? We can't. They didn't happen. And you guys are now just going to tell. They're going to tell the jury, guys. No, I promise. We promise. These are legit photos. These are legit photos. I'm going to pull that clip and so many more tonight. We got a lot to go through. The first witnesses start after lunch. They're on a lunch break now. We got so much to go through. In fact, I'm probably going to post the Johnny intro, at least post that one tonight. Make sure you check that out in its entirety because I think it's very imperative. I am going to try and get the Amber one clipped as well for sake of clarity. But stay tuned. We got lots more coverage to break down here as day one begins of the Johnny Depp trial. If you guys want to watch the feeds, they're all over the internet. But people are now starting to strike each other for sharing the feeds. Oh my God, this is pathetic. This is public information. These feeds should be for everybody. Ridiculous to see people fighting over this stuff and unacceptable. We will be reporting and editing and giving you our commentary today at 5 p.m. So make sure you join us. We will see you there. Hit the subscribe, click the videos, stay tuned. Justice for Johnny Depp is coming.